Hey Flight Sim fans, Richard here with Wing It Flight Sim, and in this video we are going to show you how to use X-Plane's checklist feature, and it's coming up right after the intro. All right, we are back, and like I said, we are going to show you X-Plane's checklist feature, and the first thing you need to know about it is you have to use a plain text program. So for Mac users, that would be TextEdit. For Windows users, it would be probably Notepad. I'm not a Windows user, but that is the .txt program for Windows. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is, like I said, on my Mac, it is TextEdit. So we're going to go to the Spotlight and go to TextEdit, and we're going to open a new document. And this is what pops up when you open TextEdit. So the first thing you need to do is you need to format it, because it opens up by default into a rich text program. And the checklist feature will not work with rich text documents. You have to use plain text documents. So we're going to go up here into the format, and we're going to make it plain text. Okay? And then you can pretty much type in whatever you want the X-Plane Copilot to say. So let's just say, "Hi, I'm your X-Plane Copilot." Okay, so that is pretty much it. We'll just call this test. Now, the way X-Plane reads these is it reads it line by line. So if you keep typing and you go to the end and you have a bunch of stuff. Now this goes like 3 lines, but X-Plane will read all of that as one line. To go to your next line that X-Plane will say, you just hit enter. And then that tells X-Plane this is a separate line, and to read that separately. So, okay, once you get your checklist all typed up and ready to go, all you have to do is store it anywhere within your X-Plane folder. I created a checklist folder, and I put my checklists in here. So I have a couple of demo checklists, a demo checklist and a test checklist, a couple of test checklists, and then I've got my Airbus A350 checklist, which those are the ones I primarily use. So remember, open up your .txt program. For Mac, it's TextEdit, and for Windows, it's, what is it?
Notepad.
Notepad. Type up your checklist, and don't forget to format it as a plain text, not a rich text file. Once you type up your checklist, just put it in your X-Plane folder. Anywhere in there should work. All right, we've got X-Plane open now, and there are 2 ways you can access the checklist that you created. First, you can go up to X-Plane's file menu, and in the drop-down, just click Open Checklist. And then this will bring up a small checklist box down here, and you also have the option of loading a new checklist. So this is my outbound checklist, so when I'm taking off, and then I have an inbound checklist, and then I have some other ones here, my intro, my test checklist. So let's pull up the Harriet intro. And then to go to the next line, this is why it's important to do line-by-line instructions in your .txt file. So let's just show you a quick checklist that I put together, and just kind of a funny thing for our co-pilot that just entered the cockpit.
Hey Richard, long time no see.
Hey Harriet, how you doing?
Well, I tell you, I am so damned hungover and exhausted.
Hungover and exhausted? What's going on, Harriet?
Well, I tell you, I just found out that I failed my last flight check.
You failed your flight check and you are flying with me today? That might be a problem. So anyway, that is how it works. So again, giving it line by line instructions is how you move on to the next instruction or item in the checklist. So there is another way to access the checklist, which is a little more fun and a little more realistic, and you can program a joystick button to open it and to move on to the next item. So let's show you how to do that real quick. So I have the Bravo throttle quadrant, and you can just whatever button you want to program on your flight stick, just type in checklist, and you've got a few options there. Toggle checklist, next item in checklist, and previous item in checklist. I didn't program the previous item on any of my buttons, but I did program the toggle checklist and the next item in checklist. And on my Bravo quadrant, the third button on my autopilot panel, the APR button, I programmed to toggle the checklist to open and close it. And the fourth button next to it, the reverse button on the autopilot console, is my next item in the checklist. So it really is that simple to set it up. Now, the only issue that I've found is that if you have a checklist already made, you cannot just copy and paste it into the text file. I don't know why, but for some reason X-Plane can't read it. So unfortunately, you just have to manually type it in. So that being said, that's really the only kind of snafu with this or issue with it that I would like to see changed. But other than that, it's a really neat feature of X-Plane. So let's kind of show you how it works in action. So I'm going to open the checklist with my button instead of going up to the file menu. I'm going to load new checklist, and then I'm going to go into my A350 checklist. The other thing you want to do is you want to have a title, because when you open your checklist, it won't say the first line. So if you don't have like a title line, you'll have to...
Are we ready to go?
You'll have to go forward before you start your checklist, and
A
then go back.
350 outbound checklist.
So I just put a little title, so when it opens, the next button you hit, you're ready to go. So I'm going to toggle this off because we don't need to see it. And let's go ahead and start running my checklist.
Are we ready to go?
We are ready to go.
Great. We are sterile cockpit until flight level 100.
Sterile cockpit until flight level 100. Thank you, Harriet.
Let's run the pre-flight comm power up procedure, please.
Pre-flight comm power up procedure.
Battery 1 and 2 and emergency battery 1 and 2 on.
Battery 1 and 2, emergency battery 1 and 2 on, check.
Elmu Pax Galley on.
Elmu Pax Galley on, check.
Commercial 1 and 2 on.
Commercial 1 and 2 on, check.
APU Master and Start on.
APU master and start are on. Check.
Engine thrust idle check.
Engine thrust set to idle. Check.
Cockpit door lock.
Let's lock her up.
Cockpit lights as desired.
Cockpit lights. We're gonna adjust the cockpit lights. Cockpit lights set.
Com 1 and PA system set.
All right. 121.900. All right. Com 1 and 2 and PA set.
Let's get a radio check.
Radio check.
Shiraz Shahin Dasgil International. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Radio check.
As up Lima Whiskey 2259. Reading you 5.
All right. Let's move this off the screen now. Okay.
That completes the pre-flight com power-up procedure.
That completes the pre-flight comm power-up procedure. Next.
We're ready for the cockpit prep and electric power-up procedure.
All right, we are ready for the cockpit prep procedure.
Map and console lights as desired.
Map and console lights. Map and console lights set. Check.
Aircraft and cabin configuration. Ground power and departure runway.
Aircraft configuration, ground power, and departure runway. All right, let's open the doors. Get some ground power. Got ground power. Ground equipment. Ground power is on. Lights on. We'll have about 15,000 plus pounds of fuel. Fuel is loaded. Let's get some passengers on board. Heavy flight. And magically, passengers are loaded. And we'll get rid of the ground equipment. Close the doors.
Shiraz Shahin Dasgil International. Information Lima 12:55 Zulu. Arriving runway 11 left, 11 right. Departing runway 11 left, 11 right. Wind down. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear.
All right, we're going off 11 left or 11 right. And I think it is going to be 11 left, if I remember correctly, but we will have to see. Okay, next.
Electric generators and bus tie on.
Electric generator and bus tie on. Check.
Vent cooling and cabin fans on.
Vent cooling and cabin fans on. Let's start some cabin announcements.
Ground and engine hydraulics on.
Ground and engine hydraulics on. Check.
preserve your carry-on luggage underneath the seat.
Cabin systems on.
Or in an
Cabin
overhead
systems
bin.
on.
The flight crew will do everything possible to
Check.
make your flight comfortable and
ADIRs,
enjoyable.
set to nav.
OneSIM.com and Ramsus Aviation
Haters set to
Design.
nav.
Wish you a pleasant
Crew O2
flight
supply
experience.
on.
Crew O2 supply on. Check.
Evac set to Cappy and Purse.
Evac set to Cappy and Purse. Check.
Wipers as needed.
Clear day. We don't need them.
Air systems on.
Air systems on. Packs 1 and 2. Hot air 1 and 2 on. Airflow set. Check.
Cockpit and cabin temp set.
Cockpit and cabin temps set. Check.
Windshield defog and ram air on.
Defog and ram air on. Check.
Network services on.
Network services on. Check.
Cargo AC all on.
Cargo AC all on. Check.
Cargo temp regulator set.
Temp regulators 15. Check.
Cargo heater and preset on.
Heater and preset on. Check.
Emergency exit lights on.
Emergency exit lights are on. Check.
No smoking and seatbelt signs on.
No smoking and seatbelt signs on. Check.
And lights check.
And lights. No faults. Check.
Standby compass on.
Standby compass is on. Check.
Exterior lights on.
Exterior lights are on. Check.
Anti-ice, pitot and window heat, all on.
Anti-ice, pitot, and window heat are on. Check.
Cabin pressure mode auto.
Cabin pressure mode set to auto. Check.
Let's begin the before start checklist, please.
All right, we are ready for before start checklist.
Master caution off.
Master caution off. Check.
Vertical velocity indicator on.
Vertical velocity indicator on. Check.
Brake fan and anti-skid on.
Brake fan and anti-skid are on. Check.
XPDR on.
XPDR is on. Check.
TCAS, Terra and Norm.
TCAS set to Terra and Norm.
Weather modes all on.
Weather modes all on. Check.
TOS all on.
TAWs are all on. Check.
TCAS systems 1 and 2 on.
TCAS 1 and 2 on. Check.
Okay, let's go ahead and file the flight plan and align the IRS.
All right, flight plan and IRS. This is going to take a few minutes, so I will get this all set up, get the flight plan done, and be back.
That completes the before start checklist.
Okay, that completes the before start checklist.
Okay, we ready for engine start?
We are ready to fire them up. Let's get these engines started.
Great, let's get a clearance.
Clearance.
Shiraz Shahin-Das Gil International Flight. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Request IFR clearance to Almaty International.
As Lima Whiskey 2259, clear to Al Maxim International, routing as filed. Maintain flight level 290, squawk 2106.
Cleared IFR to Almaty International routing as filed. Maintain flight level 290, squawk 2106. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Okay, let's run the engine start checklist.
2259.
All right, engine start checklist.
APU, generator and bleed, on.
APU, generator, and bleed on. Check.
Parking brake verify on.
Parking brake is on. Parking brake is on. Check.
Check engines clear.
All right.
Clear on my side. Clear on yours?
Clear on the left.
Engine start knob to start.
Engine start knob. Start. Check.
Engine start switch to on.
Start switch 2 on. Check.
Engine start switch 1 on.
Start switch 1 on. Check.
Verify engines 1 and 2 spooling up.
Engines 1 and 2 spooling up. Check.
That completes the engine start checklist.
That completes the engine start checklist.
Let's run the before taxi checklist, please.
Before taxi checklist. Yes, ma'am.
Flight directors on.
Flight directors are on. Check.
Set transponder.
Set the transponder to 106. Transponder is set. Check.
Takeoff flap set.
Takeoff flaps. Flaps 3 takeoff. Flaps 3 set. And flaps are operative.
Engine bleeds 1 and 2 on.
Engine bleeds 1 and 2 are on. Check.
APU generator. Bleed. Master off.
APU generator bleed and master are off.
Ground power and equipment off. Disconnect.
Ground power is off. Ground power is disconnected.
Engine start knob. Set to norm.
Engine start knob back to norm. Check.
Performance calculations V1, V2, and rotate speeds.
Performance calculations. Runway slope 1.1. Flap setting 3. All right, and V1 is 140 knots. V2 is 140 knots, or V rotate, sorry, and V2 is 142 knots. Flaps are 3. Our flex temp is 32 degrees. Okay, performance calculations set.
Let's go ahead and request taxi clearance.
Taxi.
Shiraz Shahin Kyiv International route. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Request taxi for departure.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259er. Runway 11 left. Taxi via Alpha 3, Alpha 4, and runway 29er right. Hold short off runway 11 left.
Runway 11 left, taxi by Alpha 3, Alpha 4, at runway 29 right. Hold short, runway 11 left. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Okay, Alpha 3, Alpha 4.
Are we ready for pushback?
We are ready for pushback.
Great. Let's request pushback.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Request pushback to the left.
Aircraft Lima Whiskey 2259er. Stand by. Pushback tractor is on the way.
Attention all flight attendants. Doors automatic.
All right, let's start our safety demonstration.
Ladies and gentlemen, we
Set
request
autopilot
you
parameters.
All right, let's set autopilot parameters.
When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must
Flight
fasten
level
your seatbelt,
290.
insert the fittings one into the other, and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap.
And
To release your
we are
seatbelt,
going
lift the upper
to
portion of the
go
buckle. We
heading
suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience
145,
turbulence.
146.
Airbus A350 have 8 emergency exits, 4 on the left side of the cabin and 4 on the right. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor level lighting will guide you towards the exit.
Heading is set.
By moving the handle in the direction of
And
the door is
airspeed.
equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored. In the event of a decompression, an oxygen
5
mask
Yankee
will
Papa.
automatically
Contact
activate.
Shiraz Shahid Dr. International Tower 118.100.
Over your nose and mouth.
Contact Shiraz Shahid International Tower 118.100. Yankee Papa.
Flow into the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first, and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a uniform.
All right, autopilot parameters set. Check.
Nose and runway turn off lights on.
Nose and runway turn off lights on. Check.
Verify no faults.
No faults. Check.
That completes the before taxi checklist. Okay, we're ready to taxi. Let's get the flight attendant seated.
Let's get them in their seats. As soon as the safety demonstration is done.
To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord, only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the
I think they forgot us.
into the mouthpieces. Use the whistle and light to attract attention. Also, your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. The following electronic devices.
Oh, there he is.
CD players, laptop computers may be used when the seatbelt sign is off or when permitted by the crew. Mobile telephones, remote controlled toys, or any electronic devices operating.
And he just drove through that walkway.
Turned off at all times. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find this and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members. We wish you all an enjoyable flight. Thank you.
Take your seats for takeoff.
All right, cabin crew should be getting seated.
Commencing pushback.
on.
Disconnect. Pushback completed.
All right, I think we are ready. Let's remind the flight crew to get in their seat.
Okay, take your seats for takeoff.
All right, let's go. Alpha 4.
Aircraft Lima Whiskey 2259er. Contact Shiraz Shahid Dastagir International Tower 118.100.
Okay.
Contact Shiraz Shahid Dastagir International Tower 118.100. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. On taxiway Alpha 4.
Aircraft Lima Whiskey 2259er. Fly heading 110. Wind down runway 11 left. Cleared for takeoff.
Heading 110, wind calm, runway 11 left. Cleared for takeoff, Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Thank you.
Time to run the taxi checklist.
Yes, it is.
Flight controls check.
Flight controls check. We'll get out here on 29 right, and then we'll check the flight controls.
Aircraft Lima Whiskey 2259er. Fly heading 110. Wind down runway 11 left. Cleared for takeoff.
Flight heading 110. Runway 11 left. Cleared for takeoff. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
All right, flight controls. Rudder right, check. Rudder left, check. Ailerons right, check. Ailerons left, check. Elevator down, check. Elevator up, check. Brakes, check. Flight controls, check.
Takeoff flaps verify set.
Flaps 3, takeoff. Flaps 3, set. Check.
IRS alignment verify align.
IRS. IRS is aligned. Check.
Let's get a weather report.
Weather report.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Request flight conditions.
Aircraft Lima Whiskey 2259er. Wind down. Visibility 410 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 5. Dew point -15. QNH 1013.
That completes the taxi checklist.
That completes the taxi checklist. know why they have you taxi halfway down the runway and turn around rather than just have you taxi on the taxiway and just go straight to your takeoff runway. But this is what the control tower in X-Plane does at some of the airports. It's kind of annoying, but if you don't follow what they say, they send you these little nasty grams. So I'll avoid the nasty grams. This is a 14,000 foot runway, so we're going to have plenty of room to take off.
Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist.
Takeoff flaps verify set.
Takeoff flaps. Flaps 3. Takeoff. Flaps 3 set. Check.
Takeoff lights on.
Takeoff lights on. Check.
Taxi and runway turn off lights off.
Taxi and runway turn off lights off. Check.
We're ready to go.
We are ready to go.
Timer on.
Timer on. Timer is on.
Check runway clear.
Runway is clear.
Clear on the right. You clear on the left?
We are clear.
Okay, let's get centered on the runway.
We are centered on the runway.
Set takeoff thrust. We'll call out 80 knots. V1, V2 and rotate.
Takeoff thrust set. Call out 80 knots. V1, V2 and rotate. Check. Knots. V1, V2, rotate. I don't plan on it.
Positive rate gear up.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Flaps 0.
Flaps 0. Flap 0.
Contact Shiraz
Takeoff lights off.
Takeoff lights off. Check.
Autopilot on.
Autopilot on.
Contact Shiraz Shahid International Approach 119.0. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Contact Tehran Center 120.300. Yes, Pop.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Altitude 6,600. Climbing to flight level 290.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Shiraz Shahid International QNH 1013. Radar contact.
Shiraz Shahid International QNH 1013. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Airspeed check.
Whiskey 2259. Contact Tehran Center.
Airspeed 235 and climbing.
Contact Tehran Center 120.300. Air France Lima
Positive
Whiskey
climb verified.
2259.
8400 climbing.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Altitude 8,600. Climbing to flight level 290. On heading 110.
Let's go over the climb checklist.
Climb checklist. Right heading 130, but we're going to go 146 because 150 because that's our waypoint.
130. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Below flight level 100. Max climb rate 3,000 feet per minute. Max airspeed 290 knots. Flight level 100 to 180. Max climb rate 2000 feet per minute. Max airspeed 338 knots. Flight level 180 to 260. Max climb rate 1400 feet per minute. Max airspeed 338 knots. Above flight level 260. Max climb rate 1000 feet per minute. Max airspeed 338 knots. Above flight level 100. We are no longer under sterile cockpit rules.
Contact Shiraz Shahid Daskib International approach 119.0 Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
All right, below flight level 100, which we're above that now. Max climb rate 3,000. Max airspeed 290. Flight level 100 to 180. Max climb rate 2,000. We're at 1,800 feet per minute right now. Max airspeed 338 knots. We'll go to 333 knots. 180 to 260. Max climb rate 1400 knots, or 1400 per minute. Max airspeed 338. We'll stay at 333. Above flight level 22. Above flight level 260. Above flight level 260, max climb rate 1,000, max airspeed 333 knots.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Altitude flight level 139. Climbing to flight level 290. On heading 15.
All right, let's.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Radar contact.
Ladies and gentlemen, our aircraft continues to climb. We would like to remind you that all flights of our airline are non-smoking. For your safety, the lavatories have been equipped with smoke detectors. Damaging or disconnecting the smoke detectors is strictly prohibited. On the overhead panel you will find a personal lamp, air conditioning, and a flight attendant button. The lavatory for the business class passengers are located in the front of the airplane, and for the economy class passengers, in the back and center of the airplane. For your safety, when seated, we recommend to keep your seat belts fastened, even when the fasten seatbelt sign is off.
All right, let's turn the seatbelt sign off. We're at level flight. Well, we're not at level flight, we're still climbing, but.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Fly heading 160.
Fly heading 160. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Turn right heading 160. Resume on navigation.
Turn right heading 160. Resume on navigation. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
All right, seatbelt sign is off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, and you may now move about the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments, the flight attendants will be passing around the cabin to offer you cold drinks, as well as a light meal. Please make sure your seats are in an upright position, and prepare your folding trays. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now start our onboard entertainment program. For your comfort, we will lower the cabin lighting. In the side arms of your chairs you will find your personal headphones. If you would like to continue reading, please use your personal reading lamp.
That completes the climb procedure checklist.
That completes the climb procedure checklist, and that completes this look at the X-plane checklist feature. We are going to continue this flight, so if you want to stick around, you can certainly. We'll put timestamps in the description below, so you can kind of skip around and watch what you want. So, but that's it for the outbound checklist. That's it for this video. Like I said, we'll continue the flight and do the inbound checklist if you want to see that. But again, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Richard. This is Wing It Flight Sim. And until the next one, we'll catch you on the flip side. We are sort of out. All right. Let's continue on.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Altitude flight level 246. Climbing to flight level 290. Inbound to Almaty International.
descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. Make sure your seat belt is securely fastened, and all carry-on luggage is stowed underneath the seat in front of you, or in the overhead bins. Please turn off all electronic devices, until we are safely parked at the gate. We hope that you found our flight enjoyable. We would like to remind you that cushions and blankets are to be left in your seats. Thank you.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Ready to descend. Descend and maintain flight level 240. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Change your frequency 120.950. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Okay, Stereo Cockpit once again at flight level 100 please. Let's run the descent checklist please.
Sterile cockpit below 100. Descent checklist.
Seatbelt sign on.
Seatbelt sign on. Check.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that use of all electronic devices during descent and landing is prohibited as it may interfere with the navigational equipment. Thank you.
Max descent rate 1,300 feet per minute.
We're at 1300 down.
Check airspeed.
Airspeed 333 knots.
Cabin lights on.
Cabin lights. Cabin lights are on.
That completes the descent checklist.
That completes the descent checklist.
Descend and maintain 1000. QNH 1013. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
All right, that's our descent checklist, and our next checklist will be our approach checklist, which is at 2,500 feet. So it'll be a little while. 7000, Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Descend and maintain 7000. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Contact Emirates Center 118.925. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Contact Emirates Center 118.925. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Altitude 1100. Descending to 7000. Inbound to Al Maktoum International.
Lima Whiskey 2259er, QNH 1013, radar contact.
Maintain flight level 390. 5 Golf Alpha.
Let's run the approach checklist.
Let's run the approach checklist.
Landing lights on.
Landing lights on. Check.
Brake fan and anti-skid verified on.
Brake fan and anti-skid are on. Check.
Check airspeed.
Airspeed 196 and holding.
Resume on navigation.
Landing
5
gear
Golf
down.
Alpha.
Gear down. Gear down, 3 green, locked, confirmed.
Landing flap set.
Let's set the flaps. Landing speed 163 knots.
Turn right, heading 210. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
I'm gonna wait about 60 seconds because I want a little bit longer approach. We'll get the flaps set and then we'll make our right turn to 210. Flaps set.
Landing system marker indicator on.
Landing system marker indicator is on. Check.
Auto brakes armed.
Auto brakes are armed. Check.
When in range, arm the localizer and glide slope.
We should be okay. Localizer and glide slope are armed. Give it a few more seconds. All right. Right turn to 210. 210 set.
Completes the approach checklist.
That completes the approach checklist. Heading 270, Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Turn right, heading 270. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
I'm going to go 260. That gives me just a little bit longer approach yet. I like a little bit longer approach. Glide slope is active.
Descend and maintain 1000. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
Field in sight.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Field in sight. Clear visual approach. Runway 3.
Glide slope act. Glide slope alive. We are on the glide slope.
625. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
2000.
Air France Lima Whiskey 2259. Inbound to runway 30.
Takeoff, Lima Whiskey 2259, runway 30, wind calm.
Runway 30.
All right,
Air
short
France
final
Lima Whiskey
checklist.
2259.
We're ready for short final checklist.
We are.
Ground spoilers, armed.
Ground spoilers are armed. Check.
Confirm stable approach at 1,000 to 2,000 feet.
All right, we are lined up with the runway. Runway in sight. Ground spoilers armed. Flaps full. Gear down. 3 green locked confirmed. Brakes are armed. And lights are on. Speed stable at 163 knots. We have a stable approach. Continue.
Auto throttle at 400 feet. Disengage. Autopilot at 200 feet. Disengage. At 30 feet. Flare. At 20 feet. Retard. On touchdown. Engage reverse thrusters. Below 70 knots. Disengage reverse thrusters.
400 feet. Auto throttle disengage. 200 feet. Autopilot disengage. 30 feet. Flare. 20 feet. Retard.
1000.
On touchdown. Reversers
Takeoff, Lima Whiskey 2259,
below 70 knots. Reversers
runway
inactive.
30, wind calm.
Clear to land. Runway 30. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
That completes the short final checklist.
That completes the short final checklist.
$500.
500.
$400.
400. Auto throttle disengaged.
$300.
300.
$200.
200. Autopilot disengaged.
100.
100.
80. 70. 60. 50.
Think rate.
40.
Think rate.
20. 10.
Reversers engaged.
Takeoff, Lima Whiskey 2259.
Reversers disengaged.
Vacate left. Air France Lima Whiskey 2259.
We're ready for the taxi to ramp checklist.
Taxi to ramp checklist.
Speed brakes retract.
Speed brakes retracted.
Flaps 0.
Flaps 0.
Nose and runway turn off lights on.
Nose and runway turn off lights
Takeoff, Lima
on.
Whiskey 2259, cross runway 30.
cross runway 30.
Landing lights as
Air
needed.
France, Lima,
Landing
course
lights, we'll leave them on.
259.
It's about dark.
Strobe lights off.
Strobe off.
Anti-ice. Pitot and window heat off.
Anti-ice, pitot, and window off.
Flight directors off.
Flight directors off.
That completes the taxi checklist.
That completes the taxi checklist. Whiskey 2-1. This looks like Whiskey 2-1. THROTTLE. And it's the last gate we're going to park at. All right, ready for a parking
Okay,
checklist.
let's have the parking procedure.
Parking procedure, thank you.
Parking brake on.
Parking brake on, check.
COM1 off.
COM1 off. COM1 is off.
Nose and runway turn off lights off.
Nose and runway turn-off lights off, as well as the landing light, because we kept that on. There we go.
Seatbelt sign off.
Seatbelt sign off, check.
Ground power, connect and on.
Ground power, connect and on.
You may now move about the cabin.
Ground power connected. Ground power on.
Aircraft unload config.
Aircraft unload configuration. All right, doors are open. Equipment is set. Fuel unloaded.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've enjoyed your flight and will return soon. On behalf of Flight Factor, X-Plane.org, and Pushback, we thank you for choosing the Airbus A350.
Passengers are poof, unloaded just like that. Man, we are an efficient airline at unloading our passengers and fuel. Okay. Let's get rid of the ground equipment and close the doors.
Attention all flight attendants. Doors to main open.
Turn the lights off, and aircraft unload configuration is complete.
PA system off.
PA system is off.
Brake fan and anti-skid off.
Brake fan, anti-skid off. Check.
That completes the parking procedure.
That completes the parking procedure.
Engine shutdown checklist, please.
Engine shutdown checklist.
External lights off.
External lights off. External lights off. Check.
Fuel pumps off.
Fuel pumps off. Check.
Airflow off.
Airflow. Packs 1 and 2. Hot air 1 and 2 off. Check.
Windshield defog and ram air off.
Defog and ram air off. Check.
Engine start knob verify norm.
Engine start knob is set to norm. Check.
Engine start switch 1 off.
Engine start switch 1 off. Check. And spooling down.
Engine start switch 2 off.
Engine start switch 2 off. And engine 2 is spooling down.
That completes the engine shutdown checklist. Let's secure the aircraft.
That's the engine shutdown checklist. Let's get her secured.
Unlock the cockpit door.
Cockpit door is unlocked. Check.
Ground power off and disconnect.
Ground power is off. And ground power is disconnected.
Battery 1 and 2 off.
Battery 1 and 2 off.
That is it. Great flight. Let's go eat.
Let's go eat. And you know what? Harriet was not hungover. That was a joke. She's actually a really good first officer. Thanks, Harriet, for all your help. I agree. Let's go eat. So that is really it for this one. If you stuck through this whole video, kudos to you, because this was a long one. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and smash the bell so you don't miss a Wing It Flight Sim video. We signed out a ways back, but I'm going to sign out again. I'm Richard. This is Wing It Flight Sim. Until the next one, we'll catch you on the flip side. We are really out this time. Thanks for watching.